Yes, that's good. Very good evening. Now we are going to start another topic in C, that is the basic data type in C. Mainly, what we have discussed in previous discussion that what are the variable, what are the characters, and what are the alphabets, numerics, number that can be used for your C programming. That I told, and different what are the operators we can use for your different mathematical expressions that we have already explained. Now, one thing, the mainly what type of data we are using for your program, that is important to know. That is what type of data means generally we know the data, the numeric data. Numeric data means very simple to say 0, 1, 2, any natural number. Not only natural number, it may be that is any floating point number, that is like this, that 1.5, any decimal point is there, right? And so many numbers are there inside the numeric, it can be called as the numeric numbers. Number two, another you can say the characters, that the character means that the alphabets, capital A and small a and capital Z and small z, and that is the character sets, character that can be used as a data you can use for your programming. So number three, another is the suppose the numeric data, if you divide into the two types, that is, one is integer data, another one is floating point data, right? Floating point data, floating data. Another one is the double data, like the similar type of floating, but it should have some difference that we'll discuss. So if you think about in C, so this is the basic data types are integer. Number two, the floating data. Number three, the character data. Number four, the double data. Double data. This is important. But basically, these data type you can use for your program. So that everyone knows the integers, float numbers, character numbers, and double number. Actually, double and float can be like the same, but if you think about the programming purposes, obviously this is important to know that how much storage is required in memory, because suppose if you think about the integer, yes, integer will take some time. It depends on compiler. That is, it is 2 byte or 4 byte, right? Or 4 byte. So a floating point, it is a 4 byte. If this is a character, is 1 byte, right? If the double, it 8 byte. This is the difference, that it takes the floating point data is when it takes the 4 byte, double takes the 8 byte. Why this is taking, I will explain. But the one important thing we have to explain, that the what is the range of the different data. Suppose if you think about the integer data, that means 2 byte. Obviously, we are thinking about the binary data. Binary data means everything, since we are using the binary computers, everything will be transformed into the binary form, right? If you write the one, then obviously, or according to their binary representation, will be converted by encoder to understand by the computer, that is the 00001. If you think about the any number, any character, any numeric, any special character, all should have some binary represented number, and otherwise computer doesn't know, because we are using the binary computers. So the 2 byte of data means that it is a 16-bit, right? 16-bit. So if you think about the 16-bit, that is a like this, the zero, like this, 0 dot 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 up to 15. 15 locations. If you think about the one bit, that is the very smallest storage unit of the binary number. One bit means that it may be stored as 0, it may be stored as 1. Suppose if it is a 16 bit, that means if you why we are thinking about the 16 bit, the 16 bit data, how much data will be accommodated into this range, into these bits or into this byte, 2 byte. Like so, if you think the if the 2 bit of data, so 2 bit of data, that means how many numbers you can generate? That 2 to the power 2. That means it is the number for 0 to 3. Obviously, that is represented is binary. If you represent think about the 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 0 to 2 to the power 2 minus 1. That means 0 to 3, like this. So if you think about the 0 to 16 bit, then obviously it should be range of 0 to 2 to the power 15 minus 1. That means 2 to the power 0 to 2 to the power 15 minus 1. Write this. So that is the 2 to the power 15 minus 1. That means like this is the what will be the, if you take what, if you want to take the integer variable means that is a, you can take any type of any integer data. That means it never be obviously out of range of this number 2 to the power 15 minus 1. So that's why we are explaining here the range of the data. So that is, it may be like this, 32,600, 637 or something like this, 367 or 600, so like this. So these numbers will be like this. That means that will the, if you take one integer variable, under this variable you can store the maximum number of data, 32,000 something. So according to that way, that in every data type, every variable should have some range. Any floating point number, any double number, any character number, it should have some range like this. So the floating point number, the same thing will be explained in the floating point. But one thing we will explain the floating point number. Another is that is a 4 byte. Another why it takes the 8 byte like this. Why it takes the 8 byte like this. Why? Suppose if you think the any floating point number, there is a any floating point number like this, that 2.4. This is a floating point number like this. So if this is the any floating point number, it is taking the 4 byte. But if you transform into if you transform into two 4 byte storage, another is 4 byte storage. That is another will store the mantissa, another is the exponent. What is this? Exponent. Mantissa, suppose if you represent this one, the point normalized form of this number 0.24 into 10 to the power 1. That is like the 2.4. This is the mantissa and 1 is the exponent. That's why it will take the that is a double takes the 8 byte, and it will be obviously it will take large number of data inside the double. So that's why the double data type will be there. That's all about the data type. That important thing will be discussed. Another one thing, so I told you the operator. So if you want to know how much byte it allocates for integer or floating or character or double, then obviously you can write, you can do the size of operator. Size of operator. If you write the size of int, then the C compiler will gives the output as 2 or 4. And according to this, the float, if you write the float, then you will write a 4 byte, then the double 8 byte like this. That's all about the some of the important thing of the basic data type. And thank you very much for attending this one. So good day.